Yo, what is good, YouTube? It's your boy Leach back here with another reaction video. We got biggest questions for every AFC North team after camp. Bengals, Ravens, Steelers, Browns. Let's get right into it.
Yes, Trey Hendrickson, the saga is now over.
Yeah, finally. They finally came to an agreement with Trey Hendrickson on a pay raise for this upcoming season. A lot of Bengals fans are mad, but at least he's a Bengal for 2025, and it gives us a chance to go to the Super Bowl. That's the main goal.
In NFL history with back-to-back 17 sack seasons, and with this new deal, Trey Hendrickson now joins some elite company, as you see here, in terms of the highest.
I mean, he's better than them three guys in front of him. Low-key four guys. He's right behind TJ Watt. I feel like he's better than Nick Bosa, he's better than Crosby, he's better than Hunter, and he's better than Garrett. Because you got to think, all them other defensive linemen in front of him, bro, they have, like, their edge next to, them are really good getting to the quarterback. Trey Hendrickson, for the past couple seasons, has had to do it himself, bro. He's had no help. Sam Hubbard was not really a great pass rusher, getting to the quarterback. So Trey Hendrickson's really had to, do everything, it seems like, for that D-line. And, hopefully Shamar Stewart, can help him out.
There. So obviously we know what this offense looks like, but what does this defense look like? What is your biggest question mark heading into the season for the Bengals?
Well, I think it's run defense. And they gave up 4.5
run defense,
which,
yeah.
it was middle of the pack. But
I can agree with that.
Everybody always talks about, well, how do you get your defense better? If you stop the run and put teams in third and long situations, you're going to have a better defense. You have Hendrickson. You drafted Stewart, the rookie from Texas A&M, who's had a good training camp since he came in. Now you can get after the quarterback if you stop the run. If you don't stop the run, it neutralizes that altogether. The other part of the equation is Al Golden's taken over as defensive coordinator. They're going to play a lot more man-to-man. Al Golden loves to play man-to-man. He'll also blitz more. So I think if you can stop the run and turn that loose, I think they'll be better on defense.
Yeah, his point on Al Golden is important. I mean, look, Lou Anarumo, who was the former defensive coordinator in Cincinnati, had a great deal of success. The roster just doesn't look the same in large part, and on the back end, you got to switch some stuff up. So the man-to-man looks and allowing your guy Trey Hendrickson to get home. Look, at the beginning of this offseason, they had a job to do. Get Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Trey Hendrickson signed. They've got all these things in place. Now they got to go put rubber to road and make some wins happen.
Yeah.
By the way, they all show up. They all play. Hendrickson.
We called it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the defensive side. We're not worried about the offense.
Here's the other thing about that contract.
The only thing I'm really worried about the offense is the offensive guards, but, I feel like the offensive line will hold up. It did last year for the most part. But, yeah, that defense, we'll see what Al Golden could do. Hopefully it's middle of the pack defense. We need it to be if we want to go forward.
They have the control of him next year as
Great point, and they're going to need him for sure, as you mentioned. Meanwhile, their AFC North rival, the Baltimore Ravens, are still looking for an answer at edge rusher, Pete.
Yeah, you look at the group, and they do a great job of manufacturing pass rush, but they don't
edge rush for the Ravens.
And I think sometimes in key moments you need that guy.
Well, they drafted Mike Green, so maybe he could be that guy.
I don't think they have the guy that you come to the line of scrimmage and go, it's him. And so that ultimately...
Yeah, that's kind of facts. They really don't.
And they gave up a lot of big plays last year in the passing game.
They did, though, add some firepower in the draft this year.
Yeah,
that defense got
Mike Green.
Mike Green,
Mike Green's had a good training camp, so it'll be interesting to see if maybe he can become that guy.
Yeah.
I'll say this about Kyle Van Noy. Right. He's one of those guys that maybe you don't have circled with highlighter before the game, but by the second quarter, you're coming to that sideline saying, we better come up with an answer for 53 because he is all over the field.
Kyle Van Noy is underrated.
A lot of those young players can lean on. Look, Ravens are in a really good spot. If their guy Jair Alexander can stay healthy throughout the course of this season, the back end is as good as anybody in the National Football League. This Ravens team.
Yeah, but he has injury concerns, so it'll be something to see. If he could stay healthy for the whole season, I mean, that would be scary.
They're going to be fresh on.
But like I said, we're not scared of the Ravens. You're not going to stop Jamar Chase, T. Higgins.
To the Steelers, obviously.
It don't matter. Same with Steelers.
Rodgers comes in now leading this team. I know, Kyle, there's a ton of question marks of what we'll see from him, but what's the biggest one in your opinion?
Well, I have to go back to last year and say, hey, look, he was recovering from an injury, and I, of all people who has recovered from injuries, has to understand that it takes more than 12 months sometimes to feel fully like yourself. Okay, we've passed that mark. Aaron Rodgers now in his new home.
Yeah, can Aaron Rodgers evade the big hits this year? That's what I'm saying. They have a week 5 bye week, bro. They got to protect Rodgers, like, at all costs. Like, yeah, I think you're playing the Browns twice, the Ravens twice,
I thought
You're
he
playing
looked
us
like the
twice.
Steelers' offense being dangerous
So-
the entirety of the season, and Aaron looking more like what we remembered from yesteryear.
And he did play well at the end of last season. He did a lot of really.
Because that week 5 bye week,
touchdown
it's
passes
just,
Mahomes did last year, so he has that
it's
going
just,
for him.
it's too early for a
My
bye.
key for the Steelers is a key for him to avoid those hits is run the ball. The Steelers' identity has always been to play good defense
Run
and
game.
run the football. They did not run the ball very well last year. And now there are questions about who's going to be the lead running back. I mean, you know, Warren, is he capable of doing it? Johnson, the rookie from Iowa, looked good the last preseason game. Somebody has to emerge as a guy who can move the chains and keep that pressure off Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, if they don't have a run game, the Steelers are going to be in for a
Definitely. Last
bad
week
year
in
of football.
Cleveland, obviously, the talk of the town all offseason was this crowded quarterback room.
Cleveland
Now,
Browns.
One less body as Kenny Pickett is headed to Vegas. What's the biggest
Kenny
question
Pickett,
mark
yeah, I
for
did see
the
that. Got
Browns?
traded to the Raiders.
Well, I feel like you're not.
So
gonna
there
have
now there's 3, Flacco and the 2
answers
rookies.
Until the rubber meets the road. And I'm talking
Which I don't
about
understand how Dylan
Joe
Gabriel
Flacco.
is QB2 over Shedeur
Yes,
Sanders. I
know
feel
there's
like
something in the
they
room
just want
for
Shedeur to
that
fail,
picture,
bro. Like,
and Dylan
straight
Gabriel
up.
looked like he played on time and in rhythm with this offense. And Pete, you can back that up. He looked like a guy who could distribute the football.
Yeah,
play
and they
the
released
guard,
Tyler
like
Huntley,
Kevin
too.
Stefanski wants in this offense. And obviously, Shedeur Sanders.
So,
flashed
they're
his
confident
light
with the
his
2
first
rookies.
opportunity in the preseason. I walked away really impressed with him. But for whatever reason, we saw a regression in his second outing after the oblique injury. I don't know if it's a physical thing. Maybe he wasn't feeling 100%. But
How long do they see QB Joe Flacco going? Yeah.
Know about Dylan or Shedeur
He's up in there in
until the
age.
regular season happens, and those bullets are real.
And they start seeing all kinds of coverages and different
Oh.
looks and stuff because it's so vanilla in the preseason. For me, it's Flacco. How will he hold up? I mean, that's the key. He's not a kid anymore. I think he's a couple years younger than me, as a matter of fact. He's pretty damn old. So I think it's a matter of if he can
Yeah,
hold up
the
and
quarterback
stay
play is
healthy.
going to be big for the
If he stays
Browns.
healthy, then I think he plays as long as they're in being competitive in the division. If he gets banged up, then obviously you go to Dylan Gabriel and you find out what he is. If they get knocked out of any contention, which is probably likely because they're not a very good team right now, then I think you go to Gabriel. If Gabriel shows something, okay. If he doesn't, then maybe you put Sanders in. And if neither one of them shows anything, here's the good news, Cleveland. You have 2 first-round picks next year.
Yeah.
And it's a loaded quarterback draft. So they're going to have a chance to get their guy next year.
It is interesting with Kenny Pickett's departure to Vegas. Just yesterday, I was complaining a little bit, talking about Sanders, and if his name wasn't Sanders, would we be talking about what the Browns are going to do with their 5th-round pick? But all of a sudden, it becomes an interesting kind of conversation here. All right.
Yeah, it is definitely interesting.
More on the other side. That is a wrap.
But that's going to do it for biggest questions for every AFC North team after camp. There's your AFC North week 1 games. You got Steelers at Jets. Justin Fields playing the Steelers. A-Rod playing his Jets. And then my Cincinnati Bengals, who they on the road in Cleveland week 1. And then you got Baltimore at Buffalo Sunday night in Buffalo. That's going to be a heck of a game. All of them games right there are going to be really good games to watch. I'll be reacting to pretty much. Week 1 we're gonna go crazy. We're gonna react to maybe every game. So make sure y'all turn them noties on, hit that sub button, and make sure y'all follow the socials on the screen. It's much appreciated. I love y'all, and I'm out. But that's gonna do it for this reaction, though. Make sure y'all subscribe, like the video, and I'm out. Peace.